Sarah had a good life. At least that's what everyone thought. She had a steady job, a warm home, and a normal routine. But every morning when the alarm rang, she felt tired before the day even began. Not physically tired, mentally tired. She couldn't explain it. Nothing was wrong, but something was missing. Every day looked exactly the same. She woke up at the same time, drank the same coffee, and took the same bus. She looked out the window, but she didn't really see anything. The same people, the same desk, the same screen. Her coworkers talked about money, weekends, and promotions. Sarah smiled and nodded, but inside there was an emptiness. It felt like she was stuck somewhere she couldn't escape. At night, she came home exhausted, sat on the couch, and turned on the TV. But later, she couldn't even remember what she had watched. She scrolled on her phone for hours, then wondered where the time had gone. Quiet questions moved through her mind. Is this all there is? Is this how my life will be? She felt guilty for thinking this way, because her life was comfortable. But comfort didn't bring happiness. It only brought silence. Over time, small signs began to appear. She got irritated by little things. Getting out of bed in the morning became harder. She lost interest in things she once enjoyed. On weekends, she didn't feel rested. She felt bored. She feared Mondays, and even on Fridays, she couldn't feel excited. Sometimes she remembered her childhood. She used to draw for hours. She never wanted to leave the paper. When she was creating something, she lost all sense of time. But she had stopped years ago. Life is serious now, she told herself. I don't have time for this. Still, the feeling never left her. A quiet voice inside whispered, there is more. One evening, after a long and tiring day, Sarah was watching random videos online. As her finger moved up and down the screen, one video caught her attention. A stranger was speaking. He said one simple but clear sentence. Comfort zones are beautiful places, but nothing ever grows there. Sarah paused the video. It felt like those words were meant for her. That night she went to bed, but couldn't sleep. Staring at the ceiling, she asked herself a question she had avoided for years. What would I do if I wasn't afraid? At first there was no answer. Then something slowly appeared. She wanted to create again. Not just for money, not just out of habit, but for something she truly wanted. The next morning, fear showed up. It's too late. You're not good enough. Thousands of people already do this. Sarah knew these voices well. They had always been there. She almost ignored the idea completely. Almost. But this time something was different. Instead of dreaming big, she decided to start small. She told no one. She tried to prove nothing. She did it only for herself. On a quiet Saturday morning, Sarah signed up for an online course. It wasn't anything serious, just a few hours. Her fingers hesitated over the keyboard, but then she clicked the button. She didn't tell anyone. She didn't want opinions. She didn't want to be laughed at. This was her small secret. The first lesson felt strange. Her hands were slow. What she made felt simple and incomplete. Sometimes she stopped and thought, what am I even doing? But as the lesson continued, her mind became calm. She forgot the outside world. She felt alive. Time passed quickly. For the first time in years, she forgot to check the clock. From that day on, Sarah made a deal with herself. 3 days a week, 1 hour, no matter what. Even if she was tired, even if she didn't feel like it. There was no pressure, no expectations. Some days were really hard. Some days, she felt like she wasn't improving at all. But she still showed up, because now she understood something important. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about continuing. As the weeks passed, she began to notice small changes. Things that were difficult before became easier. Mistakes no longer scared her. Instead, they felt like proof that she was learning. Other parts of her life began to change too. She became more patient, more focused, kinder to herself. One day, a friend noticed, "Why are you always busy lately?" she asked. "What are you doing?" Sarah hesitated. She used to avoid this question. This time she answered, "I'm learning something new." Her friend laughed softly. "At this age? You already have a job." For a moment, the old fear returned. But this time, it didn't control her, because deep inside, she knew this was right. As months passed, Sarah changed. She stood taller. When she looked in the mirror, she felt stronger. She was still tired sometimes, but it was a different kind of tiredness. Not the tiredness of emptiness, but the tiredness of effort. Her life wasn't perfect, but now it had meaning. One day, Sarah decided to share her work online, without overthinking, without planning too much. Her hands were shaking as she clicked share, then she closed her laptop. That night she struggled to sleep again. The next morning she checked her phone. There were messages. People liked her work. They asked questions. One message said, "You're truly talented." Sarah read that sentence again and again. For the first time, she believed it. Sarah didn't quit her job overnight. Her life didn't change in a single moment. But the emptiness inside her began to fade. Now she knew why she woke up in the morning. Her hidden talent had never disappeared. It was only waiting, waiting for the right time, waiting for courage, waiting for a small step. Maybe you are like Sarah, comfortable but incomplete, busy but not fulfilled. This feeling is not a weakness. It's trying to tell you something, like a whisper. If you listen carefully, you can hear it. You don't need a big plan. You don't need to quit everything. Just take one small step. Give yourself 1 hour. Be honest with yourself. Because there is something inside you too, and it's much closer than you think. Ask yourself this today. What am I ignoring? Your future self is waiting for your answer, not tomorrow, today.